Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Zach, the Dark Conservatarian, and in case you wonder why I'm so bundled up right now, it's because we got hit with the snowstorm here in the Midwest, and I'm sure that plenty of you have experienced it as well. Hope you're staying warm and safe out there. But anyway, just earlier today, I got re-listening to Ranting Monkey's most recent live stream, and there was one part of where that it was mentioned to him by a live chatter about short fat otaku. Nah, and I'm just at the point of where that I'm really this close to saying just fuck the guy. I mean, we'll have to see of what follow-up video that he has to release to, I don't know, I guess walk back whatever bullshit that he said about, Ruby Ridge, here in a bit. But, right now, it's not looking too good. Apparently, the guy is just, he seemed to be enough of a centristy and kind of sensible guy to where that it did not seem like he would have right-wing derangement syndrome, but it almost seems that it's growing a little bit in his mind right now to where that he's just all like, yeah, fuck all these guys who go defending the Weaver family, because I mean, for the most part, it is like libertarians and right wingers that go saying that, yeah, the Weavers did not deserve what they had, what the government like dished out to them, and maybe even go so far to say that the Weaver family are heroes. Like, I'm gonna be honest, his reaction to the Donald Trump attempted assassination, it was bad, but just wasn't as bad as Destiny. I guess I had the mindset of relativity in me, and that being that ShortFatOtaku wasn't quite as bad as Destiny. I mean, Destiny was like mocking the death of Cory Compertor. He made like a tweet or two saying of how that maybe it would have been better if Trump did end up getting hit with that bullet. And he was even going so far to say that any Trump supporter that gets shot, I'm going to be making fun of you, saying that conservatives, especially Trump supporters, are subhuman and garbage and all that stuff. And relatively speaking, ShortFatOtaku wasn't that bad. He was kind of bad in that he was making fun of Cory, but he wasn't going as far as Destiny to say that conservatives are subhuman, Trump supporters are subhuman, and to say that maybe Trump did deserve to die or whatever. In fact, with all of his reaction to all the TikTok meltdowns at Trump winning, I thought that was like a pretty solid proof. Yeah, he's got at least somewhat more of a grip on reality. But no, apparently with what is being unveiled right here about Ruby Ridge, it's not good. I mean, his... I don't want to say that it'd be understandable, but it certainly be one thing if, like, say, the only person who got shot or injured was Mr. Weaver himself. I can't even remember the guy's first name, the patriarch of the family. Randy Weaver, that's his name, just in case anybody gets upset that I forgot about his first name. If he was like the only one shot or injured for resisting the government or whatever, even though we'd say that that's not justified because, hey, he was just not showing up for a court date. Did he really deserve a death over that? And by the way, side note, he ultimately did not die in Ruby Ridge. It was actually, I believe his son and definitely his wife that died in the onslaught of that whole thing. I'll have to like link a few videos to like notify you guys of all the information about the whole story, like Count Dankula's video, for example, and even Ace 1918's video talking about ShortFatOtaku. But anyway, it would be one thing if the only thing that was happening was that he wasn't showing up for a court date and the police ended up having an arrest warrant on him and he ended up getting shot, maybe even killed in the process of them trying to arrest him. I mean, it'd be pretty hyperbolic to say that he deserved death at that point, but at least it would be all like nobody else was killed who was like not the perpetrator of resisting arrest or anything like that. But that's not the story here. It wasn't even like Mr. Weaver himself that died. It was his freaking wife and kid that got shot, that got sniped. They did not deserve any of this at all, and even worse so was the fact that he got framed. He got framed by the CIA to, they had some, I don't know what you would call it, some actor who like came up to him and be all like, hey, I want you to sell me some sawn-off shotguns. And the actor was from the ATF and the agency was the ATF, actually. And he did that, And yeah, it's not like that he was just going out of his own way and being all like, oh, I'm going to make sawn-off shotguns for a living. I'm going to break the law and like make a little bit of extra side cash on this. Putting aside the fact that making and selling sawed-off shotguns is a victimless crime anyway. No, somebody went up to him and was all like, hey, I'll pay you, and it turns out it was a government agent, so that just makes this even worse. And Randy and his wife and the rest of his family might have some weird and maybe even stupid opinions as far as Jews and technology goes, but that still doesn't disregard the fact that the government is wholly in the wrong here, and that the family did not deserve this kind of oppression. Like, ShortFatOtaku was going on too much about the whole like arrest situation, missing the court date, and so on and so forth, and going on about procedure, about how procedurally you should like file for your or show up to your court date, even though there was a big old mess on the timing of the court date, like. They sent him the wrong letter or told him the wrong date of the court date, and so he was a bit confused, and ultimately I guess he did not show up. He was also going on too much, in my opinion, about the whole aspect of them being off the grid, and therefore them being off the grid doesn't make them free from consequences, which I understand the principle that whatever you do does not make you free from consequences, but we're not talking about the aspect of, oh, they're off the grid and they had no electricity, they had no access to the weather channel, so therefore they weren't able to see the weather, that there's a violent rainstorm coming in, and so they weren't able to prep their property ahead of time before it got wrecked by the rainstorm. No, we're not talking about like crap like that. We're talking about a second and third party, that being of course the government, assaulting this family for the fact that said second party, the government, after just framing them and baiting them to break the law so that they had some kind of self-realized or self-actualized justification for assaulting this family. So it's bullshit. But the confusion of the court date aside, the thing is though, is that isn't just the only thing about this. He was framed, but he was just going on too much about the procedure of it all, and not even focusing on the framing part of it. Is he ignorant of the framing part about it? I mean, maybe there's a possibility of that. Maybe I can like give someone the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, again, this is probably like the only reason why I would like am having just the littlest ounce of patience to wait for whatever next video that he has to bring to come out about his whole Ruby Ridge pro Ruby Ridge massacre position that he seems to be taking as of so far. But if he is not ignorant of that, if he is aware of the fact that they were framing him for like you know, having some actor go up to him and be all like, hey, I want you to sell me a sawn-off shotgun, and it was the government trying to make him look bad, trying to frame him for a crime so that they can like justify themselves like going out and getting his ass. If he really does know of that, well then that makes this even more cunty. Like, it's cunty enough the way that his attitude is about this, but if he is like completely knowledgeable of that part of it, that just makes this even worse. And obviously we can have debates and whatnot, minarchists versus anarchists, as far as like what amount of force is justified for what high of a crime. Like if it's like just a fine or whatever, obviously death not worthy. In my opinion, at least anyways, should not be just rolling in guns blazing because of that. If you are like guilty of murdering somebody or committing homicide or whatever, then that is a little bit more justified if the police do end up like killing your ass. But this isn't it. He got framed. He got absolutely set up, and therefore he his family got hurt for it, and he ended up like being arrested and having a whole bunch of bullshit charges put on him. But like I said, I'm just right now coming of the opinion that I'm just all like, fuck this guy. Like, honestly, he did have a little bit of a way of presenting himself and the information they talked about in whatever 20 to 30 minute long form video that he had to talk about a certain subject. Like, I still remember, like, coming off the heels of a bit of a personal drama, and then I was listening to his Slopgate video of where that he was, like, talking about the whole controversy about, academic agent and Sargon of Akkad, like overly politicizing food, going on about how, oh, slop food, overly spicy food, Mexican food, and the other kind of like brown and black culture foods out there. That's garbage. That is a absolute representation of leftism or egalitarianism or whatever have you. And he was just responding to that and saying, or at least implying anyways, that it's kind of ridiculous the way that they're reacting, as well as to be fair, leftists acting like that it is a virtue that you be liking of foreign foods, and if you do not like foreign foods, that means that you're a bad person or a racist or whatever have you. They're ridiculous too, but let's just say that both the extremes when it comes to like the politicization of food are bonkers, are freaking weirdos. And freaking SFO, he was taking the more centrist position on that video, and it was just a little bit of lighthearted listen for me to listen to, coming off the heels of that bit of drama, and so it kind of gave me, I guess, a little bit of sentimental attachment to listening to Short Fat Otaku videos. And I really like his man versus bear video. I liked his video about Two Cutes. But if he is really going to take this absolutely callous and cold-hearted position when it comes to the Weavers and the way that the government like responded to them, not showing up for a court date after they framed them for it, well then, at this point, I'm saying, fuck him. Fuck him. Like, he better, like, have some kind of walk back or even actually a full-on retraction, maybe even a bit of an apology for his initial position on this whole shit. But this is just ridiculous. Like, I know that there are, like, some people that want to be all like, oh, the government have this almost, I don't know how to frame it. I mean, I gotta, like, tread on thin ice here because I know I have a lot of libertarians in my fan base, but government is bad. Let me premise that right now. But there are some people that almost want to take so much of a, I'm going to say it, government derangement syndrome, to where that they even say that because the government and NASA say that the world is round, therefore I'm going to say that the earth is flat. Take retarded positions like that because of the fact that the government goes saying something that is like an objective fact, that being the earth is round. There are people who are like that retarded, and it seems that SFO and even Destiny to some matter is like just taking like the complete opposite stance just because people are that freaking retarded. Like, we need to be taking positions off of principle, not off of obsession against our opposition. And in the case of SFO right now, it seems that he's having such a right-wing derangement syndrome, or at least a derangement syndrome towards people who are like anti-establishment, to such an extent to where he is going to take this pro-Ruby Ridge position. I mean, what's next? Is he going to start defending Jeffrey Epstein as well, saying that Jeffrey Epstein did in fact kill himself? Like, what the fuck? Man, it's just all completely stupid, and this is just showing of how ridiculous that our culture is getting, and it's a real pity, because SFO, I do legitimately think that he was a smart guy, putting aside his reaction to the Trump assassination. And if he did not have that reaction, I would more solidly say that Short Fat Otaku was a smart guy. But because of that, and especially his reaction to him researching Ruby Ridge, it's just, he might as well be completely uncredible at this point. Anyway, that's my thoughts right there. It's just stupid. But we'll see what happens here in the next few days or next week. Anyway, I am Zach the Dark Conservatarian. You all take care, and tell me what you think in the comments. Leave a like, I guess, and later. Godspeed.